What is going on, everyone? Steve-O Supremo here, and I am just another game collector, and I hope you all had a fantastic Memorial Day weekend. But today, it's a pretty cool day in itself. It is May 27th, 2025, and today it is Dragon Quest Day, and we are celebrating 39 years from the release of this incredible game right here, Dragon Warrior, on the NES in Japan. So this day has kind of been dubbed like Dragon Quest Day every year. Lots of times we're waiting on this day to see if they announce anything new for the franchise, which things kind of got started off with a bang this morning when they finally gave us the release date for Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D remake. That'll be coming out October 30th this year. You'll get it on the Switch 2, PS5, the original Switch, all the consoles, the newer ones. I mean, boom, you'll be able to get it. And I highly recommend you do so because this HD 2D remake of 3 was just incredible. The art style, this is the perfect franchise to carry over for that HD 2D remake style. So cannot wait to get my hands on that one this October. And I will be continuing my journey on the PS5 with that one. But I figured, it's Dragon Quest Day. Let's go ahead and show off a little bit of the Dragon Quest collection here. Talk about my love for the franchise and just kind of go through my history with it as well. So as you can see here, guys, here's the collection. We'll get that out the way first. We got the NES Complete in Box sets of 1, 2, and 3. Still need to get 4, but that's a pricey one. Even some Super Famicom entry there for 3. As you guys can see, I really like number 3. I got multiple copies of 3 here. Then going along, we have the DS entries here. Dragon Quest 4, 5, and 6. That one's still being sealed. It's a shame because 5 should still be sealed as well. 4 I did buy used from that game store ages ago for $70. I wonder what the price of it is now. It'd be interesting to see and compare if it's still like $70. 9, Dragon Quest Monsters Joker. Then some 3DS entries. We have 7 and 8, which 7 was the most recent one I completed last year. If you guys want to check that video out, it's on my original channel, Steve-O Supremo, my Dragon Quest 7 review. That, man, took, 7 years, 8 years for me to beat. Really cool story behind that, so go check it out. And then Dragon Quest 8 on a 3DS. Here's my Game Boy Color entries here. We got Pocket Monsters, Dragon Warrior 3, and this is the 1 and 2 combo. Some people say this is like their preferred version of Dragon Warrior 1 and 2, meaning until this HD 2D remake comes out, they prefer it over the originals. That's the thing with like the series here. Like some people have their preferences of which one they like to play. I actually played through the first 3 on my phone. That was my first experience with them. But we have the Dragon Quest 11. I don't know what the edition is that this is called. It's got the soundtrack, the art book, and the steel book that came to it. I forget if it was a limited edition or what the special name was. A couple of the printed media I have for it here. Sentinels of the Starry Sky, Dragon Warrior 7 guide, and the Dragon Warrior original strategy guide. Look at the Dragon Lord on that cover, man. Like back in the day when they made these art books, it wasn't no pretty Akira Toriyama artwork on it, man. They had they made this thing look evil. Pretty cool there. And here's the Switch entries we have. The Builders series. We have Dragon Quest 11 Definitive Edition. Monsters Joke. This is Monsters 3, right? The Dark Prince. I forget what they call it. Nope, that's not number 3. Dragon Quest Treasures. That was a disappointing game. Then, of course, 8, the box set on PS2. Dragon Builders again. Heroes 1 and 2 on the PS4. Swords on the Wii. And, of course, we already seen it, the Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D remake. So that's the overview of what I currently have in the collection. Still have a lot of games that I would like to get into it. Of course, like we said, missing the big Dragon Warrior 4 CIB, but we will get it one day. And Dragon Warrior 7 on the PlayStation. Would love to have that. There's many things I'd still like to have. I'd like to get all the Game Boy games complete in box. I know I'm missing more DS games, Rocket Slime, and all these things. There's a lot more to go, but this is where we're sitting at, and I'm happy with it because this is a franchise I just love. And it all started with the Happy Console Gamer. Like, of course, just watching his videos and him gush about Dragon Quest and Dragon Warrior back in the day. That's what really spurred me to want to finally try this franchise out, because I don't know if I mentioned it on this channel, or I'm sure I have. I didn't grow up like an RPG gamer or JRPG gamer. That wasn't me. Like, I played Link to the Past and Ocarina of Time and stuff, but turn-based stuff was not my thing back then. And it took a while for me to start getting into that. And even then, I didn't get completely hooked into it. I was like, you know what? I'm finally going to try one of these Dragon Quest games because Happy Console Gamer seems to love them. And I got my start with this one right here, Dragon Quest IX Sentinels of the Starry Skies. And it was just incredible. I fell in love from there. It was an awesome game, in my opinion. Some people who were Dragon Quest aficionados through the years probably didn't like it as much as the others, but I love the game. I love the art style, of course, Akira Toriyama and his touch throughout the franchise history. Again, rest in peace to him. But just awesome game. Fell in love with the turn-based combat, the leveling up, getting new equipment, unlocking new spells and skills and abilities. It was just a blast, and I always regretted that I did not get to experience the kind of like online component with that game. The being able to go in with a co-op party and do a dungeon together. It could have been a blast. So it was really awesome, and that's where it got started. So from there, I just started back from the beginning. I was like, you know what? I'll play the first three entries, and I played those, like I said, on my phone through mobile device, and really love Dragon Warrior 1, Dragon Quest 1. The simplicity of just having that one character and just that one character alone and not having to manage a party, I actually really enjoyed. And if I was going to ever make like an RPG, they had the RPG makers and stuff like that. I always pictured myself creating a game where you just had the one character, like in Dragon Warrior. And I like, man, it was going to be this Western theme kind of thing. You kind of had this cowboy type of RPG leveling up and getting his skills and stuff. I had this thing all planned out, but it was going to be just the one character because I always thought that was a unique concept. And even though I don't know the history of all the stuff, guys, like I'm not the historic aficionado on all these games right here. The Dragon Quest series are great channels who really dive into that. I don't know if maybe starting off it was like, okay, this is our first time and it's like maybe a memory issue or just getting used to making this stuff, so let's just do one character. But to me, it was awesome. And who would have thought since that beginning, 39 years ago, they would have had we have 11 mainline series games, still waiting on 12. To have 11 mainline series games and so many spin-offs, it's insane. Who would have thought that back in the day, they would have seen this franchise growing to where it is today, and hearing the myths and stuff about the schools closing down in Japan on release day for the next entries in the franchise. It's really cool how this series has just blossomed and grown over the years, and it's nice to see that it's starting to get the love here stateside too. So that is awesome as well, because we can hopefully continue to get all these new entries coming out our way. It seems like we're having no problem getting them these days, but back in the day, guys, we're like, hey, are we going to get this stuff? Are we going to get these DS entries? Are we going to get the 3DS ones? We didn't know because it wasn't as popular over here. So it's glad to see that it is kind of picking up pace. And like I said, we're kind of waiting on stuff from 12. And I think 40 years would be a perfect time to say, hey, you know what? Let's make Dragon Quest 12 available, start showing some stuff off after October 30th when 1 and 2 HD 2D remake comes out. Let's start, you can advertise that for another month or two to push it, but then let's start getting some Dragon Quest 12 news out there so we can play it next year. That would be awesome. So, man, got sidetracked there while we were talking about the games I played. But like I said, started at 9, played through the first 3, and then the latest one I just beat, like I said, was Dragon Quest 7. And that's pretty much all the mainline games I have beaten. I know you guys are probably, what? You're a big fan of the series. How come you haven't played 4, 5, 6? You haven't played 8? You haven't finished 11? No, I haven't, unfortunately. There's only so much time to play so many games. And this is one of those franchises where it's weird to talk. Like when I've played through 8, I know the journey is finally going to come over to getting to it and playing it. So I'm kind of like putting it off till when I think it's that perfect time to finally play it and enjoy it and take that dive into it. Because I know once I do, I'm never going to get that first time back again. So it's just making sure it's the right time. And an interesting one with Dragon Quest XI, I was there on launch day for that bad boy, but I remember not playing it right away. There was something else I was playing, so I didn't play it. And then when I started playing it, they announced that the S Definitive Edition was going to be coming over to the PlayStation. So I was like, you know what? I'll kind of pause my playthrough until that comes out. And I was like 20 hours into it, and then I'll pick up with the Definitive Edition. Well, it turns out the save data from the Definitive Edition did not carry over from the normal one. I don't know what made me think it would. I was like, oh, it's like the same game, so the save data should carry over. But it did not. And I had traded in my original copy of it. This is a copy that I got from Garrett, the guy I bought his PS4, or yeah, some PS4 games from. All these collections I get from him. And since I didn't have my original copy, I just had the S copy. I was like, man, I don't really want to have to start over again. And then I eventually ended up getting the S version on the Switch and just have not restarted it yet. So yes, I need to play Dragon Quest XI still. Don't put the pitchforks down. It'll get conquered. But again, it's one of those things where when I play it, I know the journey will be done. And I'm just trying to draw it out and put it off because, again, once it's done, it's done. You never get that first time experience back. So I have played the spin-offs and stuff, though, some of those entries, and really enjoyed them. But yeah, the mainline series, I'm only like halfway through. So I got another half to work on. But again, I'm taking my time. And I think the next one I will play will be 11. 11's going to be the one I dive into next. It was going to be 8, but man, I'm still thinking I'm going to put that off. And we'll start with 11. So there we go. A quick overview of my collection here and my history on the franchise and series. Again, still got a ways to go in completing the main series, and I still got a lot of entries that I want to get for it. But man, it is still a franchise I love and love picking things up for. And I don't have any little knickknacks or little slimes around the house. It'd be really cool to get some of those. But yeah, it's just, again, like Metroid and Xenoblade and Castlevania. It's just stuff I gotta like want to get everything for. So what do you guys think of Dragon Quest Dragon Warrior? Are you guys big fans of it like I am? How many entries have you completed? Let me know in the comments below. I'd like to hear it. And yeah, happy Dragon Quest Day, guys. 39 years. Almost at 40. Man, what a franchise. What a time to be alive where we might be able to get Dragon Quest 12 next year. We'll see. We'll see. Anyways, that'll be it. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Later.